and welcome to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Cara DeFalco.
And I'm Mike Favetta. Thanks for joining us.
So starting off with some headlines today, New Jersey Secretary of State Tahesha Way ruled Wednesday that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will appear on the November ballot as an independent presidential candidate, rejecting a challenge that he violated the state's sore loser law.
Yeah, attorney Scott Salmon argued Kennedy was ineligible after initially seeking the Democratic nomination in a month-long effort. But Way determined that Kennedy had not engaged in a primary campaign in New Jersey. Now, this is something that we've heard back and forth over the last few weeks, keeping an eye on the politics in New Jersey, and just another kind of interesting turn that I guess we will see him on the ballot come November.
Yeah, it is interesting, though, because there's a handful of other states that have removed him from the ballot, and I'm like, I don't know how you win if you can't be on the ballot in all 50 states. Like, that's a hard thing to swing. So, well, I don't know. Something his team is definitely going to have to look more closely at. We'll see.
Sure.
Also, Rutgers professor Tracy Budd will not be stepping down after facing backlash for making negative comments on social media following the July 13th assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump.
Former State Senator Ed Durr highlighted Budd's posts, which included comments such as, "They shot his wig, sad," end quote. Rutgers has reviewed the situation and confirmed Budd will remain on staff, but declined to provide details on the review process.
The university's decision has drawn criticism from some, including State Senator Declan O'Scanlan, who labeled the outcome as, quote, outrageous and inappropriate, and called for Budd's termination.
When asked for comment from NJ 101.5 Radio, the university said they do not comment on personnel matters. It's something that you've heard more and more about, specifically, not just in this case, but also with the Israel and what's going on in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of, as we've reported in the past, earlier this year, when it was a hot topic around, I think it was April-May timeframe, when the universities were concerned that some of the actions and the protests would interfere with the commencement, celebrations. It's another hot topic, and it's something that the universities, they hold kind of to themselves, and take care of it with themselves.
Yeah, absolutely, they do. And Rutgers is known, for, I guess, being a little more on the liberal side. So I imagine that they are gonna say this was her, free speech on her own time, on her own personal page, and, it is what it is. So, but they, like I said, the university themselves did not comment, so.
A New Jersey man has been arrested and charged with animal cruelty following a month-long investigation by the Atlantic City Police Department. 23-year-old Jaleel McNeil was caught on surveillance video tossing a dog over the fence of the Humane Society of Atlantic County. The investigation revealed that McNeil had previously abandoned 3 other dogs at the same manner at the same facility.
The Humane Society of Atlantic County brought attention to the incident by releasing video footage of the dog being aggressively tossed over the fence, prompting public outrage. McNeil faces multiple charges, including 4 counts of animal cruelty, failure to provide care to animals, theft of services, and witness tampering.
The Humane Society praised the police for their swift action and provided an update on the dog, stating that the animal has since been adopted by a family in Texas. So we love a good ending to a story. Obviously not the best way to, give a dog up for adoption, but at least there was a nice outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. And is your dog's a rescue too, right?
A change of service dog, we like to call him.
Okay, there you go. I'll tell you what. There is no one more grateful and appreciative than a rescue dog. So by all means, and I think Clear the Shelters is coming up too early next month. So that's something to look forward to as well if you've been thinking about it, because I'll tell you what, they're the very best. All right, guys. Hey, coming up, Mike, could you swim the Hudson? We'll tell you all about the amazing men and women who did just that this past weekend.
Yeah, there was some great weather to do that. And speaking of the weather, we've got a look of your first weather forecast here on New Jersey. So, what a week it's been with our next named tropical system. You're looking at Hurricane Ernesto, now gaining some strength rapidly, expected to become a major hurricane. That's category 3 with maximum sustained winds of 115 miles per hour by the time we get to tomorrow afternoon. So, rapidly intensifying, pressure dropping. Currently, as of this morning, the wind speeds are 85 miles per hour as of the 8 a.m. advisory. But again, that will increase and likely see Cat 2 later on this afternoon. What you're seeing here, that big blob, are the wave heights. And there are some pretty big waves in the middle. Notice as this storm works its way up toward Bermuda, that's the dot right there out in the Atlantic, they will see some winds, some rains, and some very big waves as we head into the next few days. But also, let me replay that because there will be some big waves on our shoreline here in New Jersey as we head to this weekend. And while some may not want to go to the beach on Saturday because there might be some extra clouds, it is something to watch, especially as that system works a big storm. Look at the size of it, rapidly expanding in the last few hours and will keep intensifying as most of the computer models, in fact, all of them, take it toward Bermuda. There is one that kind of skirts the northeast coastline, but we're not too worried about that one outlier, because again, the majority of them working their way eastward. Right now across New Jersey, we start off with a pretty decent start. Temperatures begin in the mid 70s on our way into the mid 80s today, and it's still comfortable, but the humidity is just starting to creep back in as we look ahead to the weekend. Rain comes in by the second half of the weekend. Sunday specifically, there could be a few early morning sprinkles on Sunday, but I don't think Sunday is a washout. Just extra clouds to start the weekend with some wet weather taking over by Sunday, and that will lead us into a wet start to the work week. We'll have more details coming up as the New Jersey Morning Show continues after this.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Cara DeFalco along with Mike Favetta, and I'm sure everyone remembers the spotted lanternfly, an invasive pest that was particularly prevalent in northern New Jersey near Manhattan. Despite its striking appearance, residents are urged to kill the insect on site due to its potential harm to trees and crops. And while activity is slightly reduced this year, the lanternfly remains widespread, and they are popping up more and more as of late, with Bergen County and coastal areas being the hardest hit.
Yeah, I heard a lot of beachgoers this week complaining about them. Now, New Jersey no longer actively monitors the lanternfly population, relying instead on resident complaints to identify problem areas. Since last year, the state has shut down its reporting hotline, though concerns can still be emailed. The lanternfly, first recorded in New Jersey in 2018, continues to move easily across regions, complicating control efforts.
Originally from China and introduced to the U.S. in 2014, the lanternfly poses a significant threat to over 70 plant species, particularly fruit trees and the tree of heaven. As the insect remains active through the end of the year, residents are encouraged to crush the adults and scrape off any egg masses to try to curb the spread of the bug. And yeah, that first year that they warned, I mean, they were literally everywhere, and they're bold. They're like in your face and your food.
Sure.
If you're eating outside, I mean, they're big.
I remember, yeah, I would give extra credit to my students who could stomp them out on Kane University's campus. All you had to do was record a video, stomp out 10, you get an extra point on your latest quiz or
Look
test.
at you. There you go.
It was,
Yeah,
it was a little incentive to kind of help the cause.
Yeah, absolutely. But and they are, it's interesting that, I mean, they're one of many invasive species that have made their way over here, but they just happen to be really harmful to the trees. I know even my parents' property had a tree that just was decimated by them. So.
Yeah, and I think that even, I was noticing because I'm a gardener, I keep tomatoes and, a basil and the usual Italian thing
Yes.
in the yard. Well, I also have this mint plant, which is impossible to kill because every year it keeps coming back in the pots. But the mint, for the first time in probably 10 years that I've had this potted plant, which again is annual, it comes back every year, it died early in the season, and there's these little fine crystals on it, and I wonder if that could be that sticky sap that the lanternfly is released.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because that mint is definitely, I mean, it's literally a weed. It is almost impossible to kill or get rid of. Interesting stuff. Yeah, so stay on top of them is basically the message there. So this is a really cool story. The Navy SEAL Foundation's SEAL Swim, which benefits active duty members, veterans, and their families, took place this weekend.
The traditions in the SEAL teams is one of the ways we respect our fallen, our heroes, as we do hard workouts, intense workouts, as a way to pay homage. You guys might have heard of the Murph in honor of Michael Murphy. Well, today we're blessed at this event, thanks to the Navy SEAL Foundation.
So joining us now to tell us all about the event, SEAL teammate, veteran, and founder and director of Navy SEAL Foundation NYC SEAL Swim, Bill Brown. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
Oh, Bill, great to have you with us. So tell us about the event. How did it go?
It was a great day. We had a lot of SEALs, over 100 SEALs. We had over 30 gold stars. We had hundreds of veterans. We had hundreds of police officers, firefighters, a lot of patriots all came together for a great cause to send a patriotic message of unity for our country, to remind everybody how beautiful our country is, how beautiful we are as a people. We swam to the Statue of Liberty. We did 100 push-ups, 22 pull-ups to honor our nation's freedoms and civil liberties. We swam to Ellis Island. We did 100 push-ups, 22 pull-ups, honor our nation's diversity, all the men and women who came to our country for a better life. We swam to South Cove Marina in Lower Manhattan, got a bunch of American flags, had them real high, ran into the World Trade Center. We did 100 push-ups, 22 pull-ups at the World Trade Center to honor all those lost on 9/11 and all those who put it on the line for our country. It was a great and epic event.
All right, Bill, that sounds epic. I'm exhausted just listening to the physical feat of this. How did you come up with this? And like, why is it, 100 push-ups and 22 pull-ups? Like, what is the meaning or the significance behind those numbers or those activities?
Well, I served with a famous SEAL named David Goggins. We went through BUDS together. We did some stuff in Iraq together, and he did something that had a big impact on me. He ran these ultrathons, one through Death Valley, where he raised a lot of money for another great group called the Warriors Foundation. Mm-hmm. And so that had a big impact on me. When I was at Rutgers in undergrad, myself and Efren Gonzalez ran from Rutgers Camden to Rutgers, New Brunswick straight, right up Route 130. It took us 11 hours, 33 minutes. And we raised money for a scholarship we started there. So one of the things I believe is when good people come together and they do something fun, it kind of sends a good message, a good positive message, something that our country needs right now. Mm. So those previous events, David Goggins and my run at Rutgers had a big impact in making this happen.
Wow, it's so inspiring. So tell us, what attracts so many SEALs, veterans, and police and officers and firefighters to participate in the NYC SEAL Swim?
Well, in the SEAL community, one of the things we love to do is one of the ways we pay respect for our brothers that were lost is we do hard workouts. And one of those is the Michael Murph. Michael Murph was a SEAL who was killed, and he got the Medal of Honor. We call it the Murph. And so it's a tradition that we have in the SEAL community that I basically brought to New York City and New Jersey. And you know what? My brothers from across the country, from as far as Hawaii, come every year. You know, it's a great way. I can tell you this, guys. The Statue of Liberty is beautiful, but when you're swimming right underneath it with a bunch of American warriors and patriots, it is beautiful. And you see that torch of freedom up there and what it stands for. And the Statue of Liberty is beautiful. But what she symbolizes is even more beautiful, and that's what brought so many the ideas in the Constitution of life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, equality, due process. These are beautiful ideas, and one of the reasons why our country is so exceptional. And to celebrate our nation's diversity at Ellis Island. And one of the things that makes our country so beautiful is the fact that our country is made out of every part of this planet. So many different people come from all across the planet to come to America to celebrate our way of life, our freedoms, civil liberties, and even New York City, swimming into New York City skyline, 8 million people plus, one of the media capitals of the world, one of the corporate capitals of the world, one of the financial capitals of the world, to run there and to hold American flags high into the World Trade Center where, so many beautiful Americans were lost, and how we rallied together. As a SEAL, I was a SEAL on 9/11. And so to come back home and to have an event like that is a beautiful thing. And to be honest with you, it brings a lot of leadership at FDNY and NYPD and PAPD that they were there on 9/11. They were serving on 9/11 like I was, and it's part of the healing process for us. A lot of us went to war because of it, and to have, we had Bernie Carrick, who was the commissioner of NYPD during 9/11, speak this year. Tim Brown, who was a leader at the FDNY during 9/11, speak this year. John Ryan, who's a leader in PAPD during 9/11, speak this year. And to have those gentlemen, those leaders, and those various outfits speak at the event to a lot of us who went to war after 9/11, it helps us. It's really part of the healing process because it helps us really understand some of the side of things at home that we really didn't see. And to hear those stories is very good for us. It really is a beautiful thing.
That is incredible. Bill, you also do something called adventure therapy. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's right. I believe that when, everybody goes through different things, no one gets, everyone has a cross to bear. No one gets out of this thing easy. We all get banged up in life. And just like you ever go through something and your buddy makes a joke and it helps relieve a little bit of the tension. Well, I think when you do fun events like this, just good people coming together, having some athletic fun event for a good cause, I call it adventure therapy because we like to come together and we like to have fun and we like to do athletic things. So I call it adventure therapy. I'm a big, big believer in it. I think, I can be having a bad day. But if I go out and I go for a little jog, or if I hit the gym, you know what? I feel a little better. And I think one of the most beautiful things about that is, and this is one of the things my buddy David Goggins put out in a couple of his books, is that one of the beautiful things we can do is we all go through really tough times. But if we can turn that sadness and that grief or that anger and we can turn it into something positive, I think it's so beautiful. And that's one of the cool things about working out and exercising, or even going out and doing something good for your neighborhood or somebody else, is you turn something that was a negative into a positive. And that's what adventure therapy is all about. That's what the New York City SEAL Swim is all about. And I'm very grateful for the Navy SEAL Foundation because they really got on board. It's just a massive logistical lift. You think about it. Literally, we had 300 swimmers swimming across the Hudson. It's a huge lift, making sure everybody's safe. And we had a lot of help from New Jersey State Police, FDNY, PAPD, NYPD, the Coast Guard, Battery Park, Liberty State Park. Without all those great groups coming together, this wouldn't happen. And so I think it's a beautiful thing. I really believe in adventure therapy, guys. And I'm telling you, if you're going through something, if you get in an argument with a friend or something at work, I'm telling you, if you go to the gym, you go for a little jog, it's going to be better. And they clear your head, you get in a little shape, and you come back. And to me, that's what it's about. That's how
now
I
you're
handle it.
100% right. Just that little bit of movement, it gets that negative energy out, it clears your mind, and you can come back to the table ready to rock.
And it also helps you look better.
Yeah.
So, Bill, tell us, can citizens participate, or is this only reserved for those who have served?
No, you know what? We're all in this together, guys. So absolutely, we call it patriots, citizens, non-SEALs, non-veterans, non-police officers, or firefighters. Absolutely, we love you guys. And you know what? The number one thing here is safety. So I'm okay. It's all doors open to everybody. You have to be able to swim. And we have a pretty kind of serious vetting process to make sure everybody in that water is good to go. Because I'm going to be honest with you guys, the Hudson is no joke. No joke. It takes months and months of training, and the swim's impossible if we don't get it dialed in just right. And we work a lot with the New Jersey State Police, NYPD, PAPD, Coast Guard, FDNY to make sure it's safe for everybody.
Excellent, excellent stuff, Bill. It sounds like an incredible event. Like I said, I'm exhausted listening to you. I'm not a strong swimmer, so but you can also make a donation at the website. It's going to be NavySealFoundation.org. Bill Brown, thank you so much for joining us this morning and your time and your enthusiasm and passion for this. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
Man, can you imagine? All I can think about is the Seinfeld episode where Kramer's swimming in the East River and he stinks, but he's not wrong. The Hudson River is no joke, and those you
Sure.
could see from the video, those guys
Yep.
were built for it because
And
not
the
gonna be me.
coordination, and it takes so much. Even with the New York City Triathlon, which I'm the meteorologist for every year, to see those swimmers jump in the Hudson, they swim with the current. So imagine now you're going from Manhattan to Liberty Island, back over to Ellis Island. There's a lot of currents there. So yeah, he's right. No joke about making sure you can really handle it, because that's a powerful wave.
Yeah, absolutely. Great stuff. All right, guys, coming up, how two brothers are giving back after a life-changing surgery.
And fall is approaching. Find all the best upcoming festivals near you. But first, we take a look at how their weather will be for the festivals in New Jersey this weekend. So we start off today with a gorgeous afternoon on our Thursday, but Friday see some high clouds come in. That will translate to slightly cooler temperatures by Saturday across the state. 82 toward Hackensack, 79 in Morristown. And down the shore, well, it's kind of one of those weekends. Maybe you stay up north or plan some indoor activities for Sunday, because Sunday is where the rain moves in and temperatures don't even budge. They stay in the low 80s. It'll be quite humid too, with that wet weather lingering into Monday, although we see a little bit of a rebound. Highs climb back into the low 80s across the state. That's our weather coming in from the west. You see that big area of rain and clouds over Chicago and the Midwest. That's what moves into New Jersey by tomorrow night. So we're talking Friday night into Saturday, giving us some extra clouds throughout the day on Saturday, but I think the main hit of rain really doesn't come in until Sunday afternoon. Air quality has also dropped a little bit. We're actually in the sensitive or unhealthy for sensitive groups level anytime that number is between 50 and 100, and that is due to some air quality issues thanks to some wildfire smoke off in Canada. Well, as that northerly breeze drags down some of that polluted air, places like Cape May would see some extra haze in the sky due to all of that smokiness working its way south. And you can kind of see it here hour by hour playing out, that big area of red and orange working its way down across the northeast. Those are the smoky skies that will make for a very pretty sunset this evening. But again, if you're sensitive to particulates and maybe an asthmatic or those with sensitive respiratory tracts, take notes that there will be some poor air quality by this afternoon and lasting into tomorrow. Now, the Futurecast has really pretty skies around for tomorrow. Nice and sunny to start, and highs back up around 90. We also see a little bump in humidity as that rises. Notice a little bit of overnight rain Friday night into Saturday morning, but Saturday just has some clouds around, maybe a few breaks of sun. It's Sunday where the rain comes in and gives us a wet finish to the weekend. We'll take another check of your forecast, talk more about what to expect with your beach forecast, and of course, the all-important 7-day weather. It's coming up as On New Jersey, and the New Jersey Morning Show returns after this.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. Well, September in New Jersey is prime time for festivals with perfect weather and a variety of events celebrating the season. Among the highlights are things like the Rock of Ages Tattoo Convention in Edison, the New Jersey Taco Festival in Augusta, and Sailfest in Island Heights, each offering unique experiences from tattoos to punk rock to tacos and sailing.
That's right. New Jersey's got it all. The Rock of Ages Tattoo Convention, running from September 6th through the 8th, will feature over 100 tattoo shops and a new scavenger hunt. On September 7th, the New Jersey Taco Festival at Sussex County Fairgrounds promises a day of food, challenges, music, and a Chihuahua beauty pageant. That sounds fun. The same day, Sailfest in Island Heights will host 2 sailing regattas, a 9/11 reflection ceremony, and family-friendly activities.
Other notable events include the Belmar San Gennaro Festival on September 7th, where visitors can enjoy street food, live music, and a special mass at St. Rose Catholic Church. With diverse events like these across the state, September in New Jersey is filled with opportunities to enjoy that early fall season. I have said this about New Jersey time and time again. For such a geographically small state, there's nothing you can't. We have mountains, we have beautiful beaches, and everything in between. We have woods and trails that you can hike on. We've got major metropolitan cities that you can tour. We've got, I will stand by this, some of the best food in the country by far and away. I mean, there's literally nothing you can't do here.
And it's all within a short drive, which is
Yeah.
important. And you don't even need to leave the state to enjoy all of those great things, like you mentioned. And like, for instance, this weekend, one of the first weekends the weather won't be so great, especially on Sunday. There's still plenty of indoor things to do.
And that's it. I mean, you really can't. And New Yorkers will argue, and I'm like, we have everything you have with parking. You can't. I'm sorry. It's not. There's no. We've got theaters. We've got a great indoor places to go. We even with kids and things like that. There's nothing you can't do here. It's a great place. I'm sorry.
It's true. It's true. Well, Carrie, in celebration of their 10-year liver transplant anniversary, New Jersey-based brothers and co-founders of the Wave Set have contributed $10,000 to the NJ Sharing Network, playing a crucial role in organ procurement, aiding in 4,000 New Jersey residents currently waiting transplants. Joining us now is Jared Wall. Jared, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Jared, so tell us a little bit about your story. Your brother needed an organ transplant, and you played a role?
Yeah, so my brother, when he was about 13 years old, was diagnosed with a rare liver disease called primary sclerosing cholangitis, or PSC for short, and essentially it attacks the bile ducts of the liver, causing cirrhosis over time, and then eventually necessitating an organ transplant. And so many years later, back in 2014, in fact, I was able to donate 65% of my liver to my brother,
Wow.
which was an incredible experience.
That really is incredible. Can you tell us more about the nonprofit organization that you and your brother co-founded leading up to his liver transplant?
Yeah, so a couple of years prior to the transplant, we sat down, and when we knew we were approaching this experience, we started to research organ donation. And what we found is that at the time, there were tens of thousands of individuals who were waiting of life-saving organ transplant. And to make matters worse, every day new people were being added to the wait list. And at that time, there were 18 people a day dying waiting for an organ transplant. And so we knew we had to do something, and we decided to create a nonprofit organization called the Wave Set. Wave being a loose acronym for "We Are Vital to Each Other," which is really the culture that we wanted to create. But also, our mission was to spread awareness and educate people on the importance of becoming a registered organ donor. The platform we decided to do that upon was by filming our family's experience going through the process. So we produced a documentary that showcased what our family was going through in hopes that others would learn about organ donation and then consider themselves donating their organs to a loved one or even potentially a complete stranger. And then shortly thereafter, we joined forces with New Jersey Sharing Network, which is the largest organ procurement organization in the state of New Jersey. And they do phenomenal work, and we're really grateful for that partnership.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that partnership with NJ Sharing Network? How have they helped your nonprofit and given you connections?
Yeah, so for one is really screening our documentary, knowing that's really the core piece of helping share our story is being able to show people, again, what our family has gone through in the process and what other families may go through as well. It's helped us, build on our advocacy efforts all around educating people around this really important topic, whether it's speaking engagements. And then most recently, we were able to contribute in commemoration of our 10-year transplant anniversary, which was February 11th, 2014. We ended up contributing to a new simulation training center that they developed, which has state-of-the-art technology, all geared to help medical teams, clinical staff, families understand and really try to experience what that is like, as close to the real thing as possible. And so that those were our most recent efforts, and just really excited to see the impact that we're able to make as a result.
Now, Jared, what message would you like to share with our viewers regarding organ donation? Say someone is, hesitant.
You never know when it's going to impact you or a loved one, and that was the reality for my family. Our knowledge was pretty general up until that point, and when we learned of those staggering facts, and more importantly, the fact that you can save up to 8 lives and help up to 75 people through eye and tissue donation, it's an incredible gift. And so I would say, don't wait to register first and foremost, and then more importantly, don't wait to have a conversation with your loved ones about your wishes.
Interesting. Great stuff. Where can we go to learn more information about Wave Foundation and New Jersey Sharing Network?
So if you visit sharingnetworkfoundation.org / the Wave Set, you can learn about our partner fund as part of Sharing Network. But if you want to learn more about transplantation, the impact that you can make, visit their website, and you can learn all about it there.
Incredible stuff, Jared Wall. Thank you so much for sharing your story, and your brothers. We appreciate your time today.
Thanks for having me.
Have a great weekend. Yeah, incredible stuff. Can you imagine? 65%. I think that's something that is newer and nicer that people don't necessarily realize about organ transplant is you can donate a portion of an organ and live and be fine. It's not something that you have to, you're not giving up your life for something else.
Right. That is important to note, especially with family donors that I know of, and they're doing great on both sides. And you think how wonderful of a gift is that to give that person, that benefit and that opportunity to have a healthy life.
Absolutely. All right, guys, coming up, we have another remarkable story, this time of a stroke survivor.
And later, where to find a living fossil right here in New Jersey. But first, gotta get a check of your weekend forecast. So we look ahead to this afternoon with warm conditions and sunny skies. Now there's a chance of a quick passing shower or storm as it is summertime. Over toward Wayne, you see a chance of a shower there even up in West Milford. Down along the shore points, what a picture. Perfect beach day. Yet another afternoon filled with sunshine right down the parkway as highs climb to 81 and Long Branch 82 toward Point Pleasant, and even down over toward Atlantic City and Ocean City. Highs for you climb into the upper 70s, a little cooler there along the beaches. Back inland in South Jersey toward Medford, Glassboro, Hamilton, and Millville, mid to upper 80s for you. So with the futurecast showing plenty of sunshine today, doesn't last because there will be some of those rain showers that move in later on Saturday night into Sunday. Notice the big hurricane Ernesto spinning offshore. That will increase wave heights this weekend. So while it's not the picture perfect beach weekend, if you do plan to head to the beaches, I have a feeling we'll see not only the high risk of rip currents, but also some beaches closed for swimming due to the fact that it will be so rough. Futurecast going into this weekend brings back that rain threat, especially as we head into Sunday. And then, of course, go by Sunday and Monday. Some of that rain lingers, kind of, the flow is jammed up as we head into the end of the weekend, given all of that wet weather. But I think by the middle toward the end of next week, we start to see some drier weather return. Humidity, this is the temperature where the air is saturated. Dew points climb into the 60s and 70s. That's just downright tropical. So we're back to the very humid air, but I think we get a break once we head into the end of next week. Notice the dew point over the next 7 days. We see that green color appear for Sunday and Monday, but then it goes back to yellow and dry by the end of next week. So much better weather as we head into the end of next week. We'll take a check of the 7-day forecast and let you know how the weather looks coming up for the next week and a half here on the New Jersey Morning Show. Stick around. We'll be right back. The Atlantic sturgeon, an ancient fish species known as a living fossil, is on the brink of extinction, with New Jersey potentially playing a critical role in its demise. Maya Van Rossum of Delaware, riverkeeper, has warned state and federal officials in New Jersey, New York, and Delaware that she will sue if they fail to act to protect the endangered species.
So the Delaware River's population of Atlantic sturgeon has plummeted to less than 250 spawning adults from over 200,000 in the late 1800s due to vessel strikes, climate change, and habitat destruction from development projects.
Van Rossum's impending lawsuit forces on two major issues: water pollution and commercial fishing bycatch. She criticized the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency for missing a deadline to finalize water quality standards on the Delaware River, which has led to dangerously low oxygen levels for the sturgeon. Additionally, she highlighted that New Jersey, New York, and Delaware have failed to obtain necessary permits to mitigate the impact of sturgeon caught by accident by commercial fisheries.
Van Rossum has given officials 60 days to address these violations or face legal action, expressing frustration over decades of government inaction that has exacerbated the sturgeon's decline. And yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that certainly, I think sometimes it's easier to protect like the cute, cuddly animals, and that is certainly a weird-looking fish. But for sure, you can't lose these species out of an environment altogether without it causing continuing issues.
I mean, we learned it in first grade, right? It's the ecosystem, it's part of the food chain, circle of life, that whole bit. It is important to protect species. I'm still, I mean, not to decide, go on off on a tangent here, but there's no place for the mosquito in the food chain because that's, just a disease carrying nuisance. But still, with so many other fish species and aquatic life, it is important, and not just for those fish with these low oxygen levels in the water, but all fish, because nobody likes when those fish die-offs happen and you have all these belly up fish in the back bay of some area and
Right.
causing a big what a quality of life issue.
Absolutely, absolutely. So good on her for making herself known and bringing the attention to it. So we'll see what happens with that lawsuit, if it happens at all. So New Jersey native and Bryant University college swimmer, class of 2018, Nicole Salzano, shares her remarkable journey of surviving a stroke during her senior swim meet. Through her perseverance, competitive nature, and support from her family and friends, she has made great strides and has become an advocate and public speaker for strokes, aphasia, and blood clot awareness. Now, Nicole is here today to tell us more about her story. Good morning, Nicole. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, thank you.
We're doing great. Thank you for coming on the show. Can you tell us more about your story?
Yes. So I had an amazing swim that morning. I had the 500 freestyle, which is 20 laps, and I got third going into finals, I was ecstatic. When the swim team was done, we went back to the hotel and we were resting up for finals. My roommate Heather and I, we set an alarm on our alarm clocks, and we started to fall asleep. But then I woke up suddenly. I was like tossing and turning, and I couldn't go back to sleep, so I figured, okay, let me go to the bathroom. When I tried to get up to go to the bathroom, I immediately fell. The whole right side of my body was completely numb. Thankfully, Heather woke up immediately. I couldn't get up. The only word I was saying was um. Heather quickly got into action and got help. I mean, she was amazing. My mom and I went straight into the emergency room in an ambulance. The hospital did a CT scan, and the CT scan showed that my left side of the brain had a blood clot. So they did a medicine called the TPA, otherwise known as the clot buster. And okay, we thought that the worst was over. The next morning, they did another CT scan again, and it showed that my brain was now bleeding. Another side effect of the TPA called a hemorrhagic conversion. So the surgeons had to do an emergency surgery, an emergency craniotomy, taking my left skull and putting it in my abdomen to relieve pressure on the brain for about 6 weeks. And the doctors told my parents that I would not be able to walk, talk, or use my right arm again. And that they said that 33% of my brain was dead.
Oh.
And I am so stubborn, so competitive. I knew, I'm like, I'm not a fan of what people tell me what I can and cannot do. So with a growth mindset, with grit, with the help of my support of my family, friends, my boyfriend, I showed the doctors. And for right now, so 6.5 years later, I am still right side hemiplegia. So my right side doesn't look like my left side right now. All about the power of yet. And I have aphasia, which is aphasia is the language disorder that affects communication. So speech, reading, writing, you name it. I have a little bit of trouble with writing, reading, and from every now and again have trouble with saying words every now and again. But that's where I am right now.
Nicole, I mean, that is just an unbelievable story, even right there. Did they ever find out what caused the stroke in the first place?
Yes. So what caused the stroke was birth control and a blood clotting disorder that I didn't know I had called prothrombin or factor 2. And hormones such as birth control and blood clotting disorders do not go together. It's not compatible.
Oh
And
my
it's
goodness.
literally a genetic blood test or a genetic cheek swab to find out if you have one.
Wow. Yeah, that's really incredible. So you look like you're doing phenomenal for someone that has gone through what you've gone through. But tell us about your swimming career. Do you plan to compete in swimming again?
No, but instead of a swimmer, I'm a swim coach now.
Ah, okay.
Yes. So I work at the Wyckoff Family YMCA, coaching kids anywhere from 6 to 12 years old on the swim team.
That's incredible. That's, and we were just speaking with a Navy SEAL previously, and he was talking about taking the bad things that happened to you in life and, transforming them into positivity, and you have absolutely done that. What does the future look like for you? What are you doing to help spread awareness?
So I am public speaking as much as I can, universities, colleges, high schools, even companies, to let them know that strokes can happen at any age, at any time, and also blood clot awareness, because I didn't know I had a blood clotting disorder. Not many people know until it's really too late.
Right.
Wow, Nicole, where can we learn more about you and about your journey?
So I have a Instagram, Nicole.Salzano. I have a TikTok, Nicole Salzano. I have a Facebook, Nicole Salzano, and I also have a website, Linktree.
Great stuff. Nicole Salzano, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your story. You are absolutely incredible and just a vision of strength and perseverance. So thank you for sharing that with us today.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Yes, you too.
Man, is she something else or what?
Wow.
What
Incredible.
what a story. Wow.
Yep.
Really, really amazing. All right, shifting gears a little bit here, and you know what, Mike? Gucci is going to be expanding its U.S. presence with a new boutique at the Avenue at American Dream. So this is going to be a 10,000 square foot store. It'll be one of Gucci's largest globally. They're going to offer a wide range of products, including handbags, accessories, shoes, Gucci beauty items.
Wow. Brian Goss, Senior Vice President and General Manager of American Dream, expressed excitement about Gucci's new addition, highlighting it as a key element in reinforcing the Avenue's status as a premier luxury shopping destination. The boutique will debut Gucci's pre-fall 2024 collection, curated by creative director Sabato De Sarno.
The boutique's design emphasizes minimalist elegance with marble flooring and soft fabrics. It includes built-in displays that mimic walk-in closets and features intimate areas furnished with Gucci decor, velvet armchairs, no less. The store aims to create a welcoming, home-like atmosphere. And it's funny because we often talk about American Dream. A lot of what's there is now an experiential there's the Legoland. A lot of it is for the kids too. But when you get into some of the other wings of this mall, I mean, there's a whole luxury designer wing there. I mean, and it's like shopping in Milan.
That's really cool. And to just see the size of that store, 10,000 square feet. It's big.
Absolutely huge. Yes. So listen, I had the chance to head to one of the best restaurants around last week, known not only for their food, but their unique business model as well. Inside this unassuming exterior is actually one of New Jersey's best restaurants, Lida, a Portuguese restaurant named for Chef David Viana's mother and an homage to his family and culture.
I was born here in America, but my parents are Portuguese immigrants, so we spoke Portuguese in the house, and I grew up in Elizabeth, New Jersey, right outside in the shadow of Newark and the Ironbound section. I would go there all the time, every weekend. This restaurant was born in COVID because, as a chef, I'm not very nostalgic very often, where it's always like a prep list and something to do tomorrow. So in COVID, I was cooking at home and I was like making dishes that I hadn't made and hadn't tried since I was a kid. I was making my grandma's recipes. So this restaurant came in that, the idea came from that because I really missed those flavors.
Those flavors shine in the dishes I got to taste, from a beef paella built on a Portuguese pub dish to a menu staple that Chef David vividly remembers.
Well, my favorite dish was these clams in white wine and cilantro broth, and what really makes it special or Iberian is the ingredients, right? So cilantro and parsley instead of just parsley like you would in the Italian American home, but also the vino verde, the traditional Portuguese wine that we use. It always is vino verde. Vino verde is essential, and it's brighter. It's got a saltiness, a salinity to it, and it makes the dish, right? So taking something like clams that are found in the Jersey Shore, but adding cilantro and vino verde makes them a major opinion pato, which is what we serve.
And while Lida has been recognized by the likes of Esquire magazine and the James Beard Foundation for their food, it's actually the business model that makes this particular restaurant even more of a standout.
I've always wondered why, in restaurants we have so many recipes for one thing, but we don't have a separate recipe for coming up with a restaurant model. And I thought that, to address the pay divide and everything, we only hire chefs in this restaurant. We hire 12 chefs. 6 are in the dining room, 6 are in the kitchen, and every week they switch places. So it's 2 teams of 6 chefs, and all the tips in the restaurant are spread up evenly amongst every employee.
And the model works. Not only has Lida been open for a year and a half, each staff member is paid a full salary with benefits because of the way Chef and his partners operate the restaurant.
Well, most restaurants operate with a back of house, front of house model. So the people in the kitchen only work in the kitchen, the people in the dining room only work in the dining room, and their pay, the pay for the people in the dining room is mostly based on the tip model. And ultimately what happens is in a restaurant, the people in the kitchen get paid much less than the people in the dining room, and that pay divide to me is getting more and more inequitable, or with the rising cost of living, inflation, all the different things. I mean, it's been a rough 5 years. Yes. And I think that if we don't address it in some way meaningfully, try to pay kitchen staff more in an industry where the margins are so small and there really isn't something that an owner can do to pay them more, we have to find a more creative way to create a restaurant model. So that's kind of what was the genesis of the idea, and we're really proud of what we're accomplishing.
And while Chef is proud of all he's accomplished here, his favorite thing is seeing his guests smile at that first bite.
I think the reason I really love cooking, is the constant feedback and the interaction with the person you make something to eat with. Like, you know what I mean? So like making someone a sandwich, the smile is the gratitude. Like that instant gratification of making people happy is why I started cooking.
For On New Jersey, I'm Cara DeFalco. Yeah, it was, Mike, I got to tell you, if you and Stephanie get a chance to get out there, I mean, it was...
That is fascinating. Tell us where it is again.
So it's in Aberdeen. It's called
Okay.
Vita in Aberdeen, New Jersey. Yeah, and it's just Portuguese food, but not like the kind of fast and dirty Portuguese food that you can sort of get at a Newark out of the Ironbound. This is a more family style, sit down, fine dining experience, and those paellas were to die for.
That sounds incredible, and love that business model, switching it up every week, with the back going to the front going to the back.
Yeah, to have everybody be a salaried employee with benefits, I mean, it's unheard of in the restaurant industry, and
Yeah,
he's really doing something different there. So great stuff. All right, well, folks, that does it for us today on the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Cara DeFalco.
And I'm Mike Favetta. More New Jersey talk, news, and weather coming up next.